Standing committees. Oh, I'm sorry. Almost. Is there anybody else under the public forum who wishes to speak? Come forward, sir. Please state your name for the record.
I'm Pastor Dan Willis, the senior pastor at the Lighthouse Church on 127th Street. And I'm really here tonight with a very, very sad heart. We've been in the city for 16 years. I'm in my 40th year of being a pastor, starting a congregation with 16 people. It is now the largest multicultural church in the entire Chicago region. That's because of the blessing of being in Alsip. There's 6,000 members at the Lighthouse Church now and represents 72 nations, 75% minority. So we've had tremendous growth here in Alsip, and it's been a true pleasure. And Mayor, thank you for this privilege, and to all of the board, and congratulations to the new board that will be serving. So there's many tentacles to, I was worried about how much time I would have, but I'm not so worried now after all the presentations. So many tentacles to why I'm here tonight, but the main overall reason why I'm here is to find out why, when I represent 6,000 members, why in Alsip would it be so difficult to get a response from you, Mayor, or from the village attorney with regard to asking to be placed on the agenda tonight, or to get an apology for something we consider to be racial discrimination in the city? Why would it be so hard to just simply get communication? And that's the beginning of where I would start tonight. We have had many, many encounters. The last 5 years have been very egregious. And finally, I've never appeared before here, as you know, other than to build our new church. And finally, I've drawn a line in the sand because I will not allow minorities in our community to be talked to disrespectfully, disparagingly by elected or paid village officials. And it's not right. We live in a world where things have changed. We see people drug off of airplanes, and then people that did it lose their jobs. The world is different. It cannot be like this, and it certainly shouldn't be like this in Alsip. So while there's many, many other things I would like to say, Mayor, if you would be okay with me saying them in a public forum, as you know. Otherwise, I'd like to begin with, why is it so difficult that you, sir, after 20 emails, 15 phone calls, could not respond to let us know we could be here tonight?
Well, first off, this is public comment, not a public debate. Make your comment and please sit down.
So my comment, sir, I've just made. I represent 6,000 people in this community. Why could you not return my phone call?
Again, it's not a debate. Nobody here is answering your questions.
Then, sir, would you like to have a closed meeting, or would you like me to say everything that I need to say tonight in an open public
You've got 2
forum?
minutes. Go ahead.
Sir, I would have... no, sir. Would you like me to do that? Can you address to me why it is impossible to get a communication back from you? Is it because you acknowledge that something was done wrong? There's been racial incidents occur on our campus, and you are not willing to take responsibility? All I'm asking is a yes or no, no debate. That's what I want to know.
Please sit down.
Does he have the right to tell me to sit down?
I have the right to have you removed. Please sit down.
I don't think that's right, Mayor, to have him sit down. Everybody else gets to talk.
I want to make sure if there's any press that the pastor of the largest church in this community is being asked to sit down for confronting the mayor for racial discrimination in the city. So should I sit down or should I proceed? Why, attorney, couldn't you call me back?
I haven't gotten any calls from you.
So who's the attorney that's received all of our emails that you gave us?
We're not answering your questions, sir. It's not a debate, and it's not a trial.
So then let's not have the debate. Answer the question, sir. Should you have called back?
If you have statements to make, go ahead and make them. But the mayor's made it clear that he's not going to debate with you. This is public comment.
I would not like to have a debate. I would not like to have a debate. Before I sit down and do a major television interview that we've been requested to do. I asked the mayor to give an apology to the people in our congregation who have been discriminated against by village officials. Is that possible? That's all I want to know.
I didn't know what he's talking about.
So I assume silence is no. So it is okay in Alsip to racially discriminate. Thank you very much.
Moving along, anybody else have any comments this evening?
Mayor, I think we need to address this concern.
Sure, in a proper manner and a proper time. That gentleman is going
Yes.
back and forth with our village attorneys multiple times. There's nothing else to say. Sir?
Just wanted to,
Under unfinished business,
Yeah,
I'd like to
I'd
call
like to-
on our village attorney. I'd like to call on our village attorney to speak to the gentleman who came to the microphone earlier in the boardroom, and a little clarification is necessary.
Right, you'd asked what was going on. I received several emails from village staff, from Clerk Van Huysen, who had requests from the pastor's secretary to be placed on a closed session agenda to discuss threatened litigation. There was no other information provided. To my knowledge, there's been no claim, nothing in writing submitted by the pastor as to what any of this is about. I advise that it's not appropriate to have private citizens placing items on your agenda with no explanation as to what they were for, without your permission or consent. That items to be placed on the agenda are to be placed on there by the mayor and the trustees and the clerk where appropriate. Tonight was the first time that I heard what exactly the allegation was, and we still didn't get anything specific, just some racial discrimination. I know in the past there have been issues with code compliance and paying of fees by this property owner. There seems to be a pattern of attention getting rather than trying to resolve an issue or even telling us what it is.
The unfortunate thing is that it's coming to light here now, and the justification that you're bringing forth, I think that had the pastor been here, maybe a little bit of that dialogue, or to sit there and say, you know what, let's go off to the side here and have a little bit of a discussion, and then if you can't come to some sort of an agreement, then allow each side to sit there and air their differences. But at this point in time, the unfortunate thing is that, we let the gentleman walk out of the room without sitting there and having any discussion about it, and now all of a sudden we're going to have a discussion when it's only one-sided. It's not proper.
No, I'm just telling you what this.
Oh, and I appreciate the heads up on it.
Sequence of events was, they were advised by staff that they could submit something in writing, because we still don't even know what it is. They speak in public forum, submit something in writing, ask for an appointment with the mayor. To my knowledge, none of those things were done. So he's given opportunities to tell us what his concerns are and has chosen not to do that.
Well, I would hope that somebody would sit there and reach out to the gentleman and find out what things are so that we can resolve these matters.
Under advice
Right.
of counsel, I was told not to talk to him because of the threat of litigation, and I'm still not going to talk to him. And if the gentleman has issues with our fire chief, our police chief, our public works director, our just about every department head here, and has gone back and forth with our attorneys multiple times, I'm going to take my attorney's advice and just
Unfortunately, the trustees are never aware of these situations, so then somebody comes here and we sit here and say nothing because we are not privy to this information. That's unfortunate, because I don't like to sit here and have somebody accuse the village of Alsip of being prejudiced, and trustees and the mayor and the attorney sit here and say nothing.
I still don't know what his complaint is. He's
Well,
never
then
said.
we should have found out, or somebody should have found out if he said he called how many times and sent messages to the attorney.
We asked him to state what it was, and he never would.
Well, then, can I ask for a point of clarification? Because the mayor just said it was the police chief, the fire chief, and the public works director. And if that's being facetious, when you're talking about the allegation he's making, I'm hoping that he was being general, because if there is some sort of complaint along that line on his desk, then I would like to address that. But if the complaint isn't on his desk, then I would like that clarified tonight in front of the public, because I have a great rapport with him. So
I'd like it clarified also, because it's the very first I've heard of it.
So,
And it's hard to address that. You know, it sounds like you tried to contact the village multiple times.
He did. We was asked what it was about, and he wouldn't say. He just wanted to be on the agenda. He wouldn't say what it was.
How was that communication? Was that communication
Email.
email?
Be happy to show you all the emails.
Nothing gets done by email.
You have a good relationship with him.
Madam Attorney, can I
Yeah,
ask
he
then-
never called. He had his secretary send emails.
I get it. Can I ask then?
They're right here.
No, you're fine. Can I ask then, Madam Attorney, are we going to schedule a meeting with the gentleman?
If you'd like me to, I'd be happy to.
I would appreciate that.
Yeah. Or if the police chief has this rapport already,
I'd be
perhaps
happy
the
to-
police chief can reach out to the gentleman.
I'm going to be honest with you. I would love to do that, and I'll do it tonight, because the alternative could be a bunch of people sitting in front of the village hall tomorrow, the way this just went down. Oh, don't laugh. He can rally 60, 80 people for a charity.
Right, and if it's a matter of a confusion or
Lack of
a
communication.
presumption or whatever, yeah, let's get out in front of this
I'll
thing.
be more happy to alleviate it, and I'll dedicate the time, ounce of prevention, and could save us a lot of what he was alleging, was speaking to the press, and no one's ever going to remember a singular name. All they're going to see is the village of Alsip.
It sounds like he would like to just sit down and talk to someone, so I'd appreciate it if you did that.
I'll do whatever I have to tonight to find out where he's at, and sit him down and find out what his concern is.
And also, maybe you can make aware that the village board was not aware of this, and we do not feel that way. We don't even know what the issues are, so we weren't privy to that.